February 2nd, 2024. This is the microphone stereo preamplifier project. I definitely have made some progress today on the case, layout, and the transformers. I have the main stage here for channel 1 and channel 2 inputs, or left and right, depending on how you want to look at it. I got 3 toggles installed currently on each channel for got your input jack, your high Z input or standard microphone through the transformer input toggle. Then there's a 20 decibel pad, and there's a phase flip switch which works through the transformer for when it's turned to the microphone input. Now flip it around here. You can see the casual wiry mess that I've currently had done here. It looks a little messy, but it's actually working excellent. It's kind of hard to really get the grasp of what's going on here from this camera, but you can kind of see the wiring and such. Identical channels both sides, so it's kind of like a mirror of each other there. That's going to be the messiest part of the circuit, because I mean there's not much I can do about the panel. All that stuff's going to have to be wired point to point. So my layout here, I plan on, which actually I have it kind of drawn up here. Let me pull this out so I can remember where I have everything laid out here. So we'll have the input, high Z or microphone input, or high impedance or regular microphone input, the 20 decibel pad, the phase. There'll be a gain control right here, a trim control to back off too much gain, especially with high input levels. There will be a low cut switch here, which will be one of these guys. This is a rotary switch, and this has, I believe, if I remember right, that has 4 positions. So I'll have the first position when it's all the way to the left. That will be there'll be no high pass filter enabled, and then each click progressively forward will go from, I'm figuring, 40 Hertz to 80 Hertz to 160 Hertz high pass filter. And then we got our holes here for the VU meter, which I'll show in a second. Right dead in the center of the unit will be our master output control. And then, see here, enter the master control, or no, excuse me, that would be the master control. This will be the control for the speed of the audio limiter, and also this, when it's turned all the way to the left, it'll disable the audio limiter, or it'll progressively go up and release timing speed. 2 toggle switches will go here. One will be for stereo linking both audio channels, and the other will probably be for switching to mono output. And then we have the same repeat over here that we had over here for channel B. And then on the very end, got a hole for a power switch and a power light. Now, as far as the VU meters go, break up these little doodads right here. This is based on the let's see, what chip is it based on here? LM3914. I should have used LM3195, but these are what I had. But I did manage to kind of make it work logarithmically by skipping a few lights every so often, because there's only 6 LED lights I could fit on here. I couldn't use all 10, which is fine for this project. But so these little boards will, let's see if I can get it in here, pop in just like so. The other one in here real quick. So we'll have our VU meters there, little panel lights. Now for the power supply, I made kind of a beefy, interesting power supply for this. This whole unit is going to use a wall wart power supply, by the way. But I want this unit to be able to have its own power filtering, its own derived voltages, so that you can basically feed this unit anything from, let's say, 12 volts to 25 volts. And it will still supply the right voltages to all the circuitry. So what this is a buck boost converter based on the TL494 pulse width, what do they call it? Pulse width. That's a pulse width power supply chip anyways. There's plenty of schematics online for building these. I will probably link it up or put up a graphic of what this looks like in my video on schematic, because I kind of did my own little thing to it. And it's fused input protected with a Schottky diode. Basically as a crowbar circuit, so if somebody were to power this unit up, they were to own it after me and wire it up, you know, with a power supply that was incorrectly polarized, it'll blow the fuse instead of blowing the rest of the circuitry. So this little power supply, got the perfect space for it. Pop this out here, pop this out so we can check this out. Now this case, which was an old DVR box I believe, has these little tabs on here that you can push out, and it works perfectly for laying the, get the thing in here real quick. There we go. Works perfectly for laying this along the edge, and it holds it along the edge nicely. And then you can see I got the two holes there where I'll have the mounts. So the power supply is going to fit right here, and of course our power jack is going to be right there, the standard barrel jack, and then go to the power unit, power switch. Main board will sit over here, I plan on. And to demonstrate that, just a piece of barrel board. Once again, has those side slots to hold it in place. How convenient, right? Not bad for a container that was not intended for this purpose, obviously. I'm repurposing the whole thing. So that'll sit there. That'll be our main board. For, of course, I'm not going to use this entire board. I highly doubt I'm going to use all that. But that'll be for the preamplifier sections. So, hope you enjoyed so far what I got going on here. Hey, if you watched this far, I'm just going to take a quick little tour of my notes here, because it's kind of fun to see what I went through and my thinking. This is the TL494 buck boost converter supply with our 7812 for our 12 volt rail output, which also feeds the chip nice stable voltage. And then we get our 30 volts out with anything from 12 to 25 input. Actually, realistically, anywhere between 9 volts to 30 volts. We get exactly 30 volts out. So we got our stable voltage, and I'll put up the schematics and stuff later on, but there's no point right now because I change what I'm designing so constantly. Like, this is the preamplifier stage as is right now, with your phase flip switch pad, 20 decibel pad, and the switch to switch either from transformer input or direct input, or in other words your high impedance input or your microphone input. So this will give you an idea, like even when I draw to lay out the panel controls. So you can see these are like non-stop in progress notes I take of all this stuff. So if you people have any comments on what you think I should do with this project, or any ideas that might help out, let me know. And also let me know if you watch all the way to the end of the video. Right here's the actual test board of the preamplifier. You can see it's quite messy yet. Eventually it's going to be built onto the perf board, barrel board, whatever you want to call it. So the next video I take, which hopefully won't be too long from now, the next update for this series of videos will be the finalized project when it's all built. It won't be painted at that time because it's still winter time here. It's going to be a while before I can actually paint everything, get the controls labeled and all that stuff. but that'll come with time. At least for now, I'll be able to play with it, get it all designed and built. In the next video, I will be able to test it out, show you guys the actual final project as is. So stay tuned for that.